So this week's gonna be a bit different because I'm going off solo to go and meet up with some people up country and do a bit of a brand collaboration, which you'll probably see in next week's video. But first, I've replaced both ball joints on this because one was doing this. So you can see why I changed that. But now, because I've changed both ball joints, we need to go and get the tracking done, because over the next 3 weeks we have around, I'd say, 1,500 miles to do in each across weekends. So we're gonna get the van tracked, do some upgrades and fixes on the van, and then we're gonna get going up country. Right, we arrived for tracking, so let's go get it done. Tracking is now done. He said it was 3 or 4 degrees out, which, considering we'd fitted it at home, counting the threads, we got it pretty damn close, to be fair. I'm happy with that. Drives a bit straighter now and the steering wheel's straight, which is nice. But for now, let's head back to the workshop because there's a list of jobs for us to get on with and there's quite a lot of them. So we're down here for day 2. Now, I'll be honest, you can probably see by the state of my hands, I've just been cracking on. Now, that's because I had a little bit of a whoopsie on the drive home. Not an accident or anything silly like that, but I obviously put new pads in yesterday, as I showed you. Now, I got home and the passenger side had smoke coming out of it. I could smell it on the way home. We don't live far from the workshop, thankfully. So I need to strip that down, because today is Sunday. I leave tomorrow morning 9 AM. It's currently 1:44. Now, you may notice I've got a lovely glow, and that is because something that I've been wanting for quite a while is an awning light. Because when you're sat outside, it's very dark, but also you don't want to be having like torches and stuff like that. It's just annoying. So I wanted one of these, but I wanted a warm white one, and I left it so close to leaving for this trip. The only real place that I could get one from was Amazon, because I wanted it in warm white. I wanted something that when you sat outside, you're not like, looking at it. You've got just a nice warm white strip up there. And that's just controlled by the aux beam panel. It does also have a touch light there, so you can turn it on and off from that, which is, I guess, useful. Not for us, but I guess to someone that's probably useful. Now, the other thing that I've done is I've mounted a present that we got sent. Now at Vanlife, we met a really nice guy. His Instagram account is UK Sprinter. Now, I know most of you will already follow him on Instagram, but I started messaging him about a shovel that I saw on his Instagram page, and he was very kind to send me one. So today, I've just been getting this beauty all mounted up. So it's held on with a latch at the bottom, so you pop that, pull that out, and then the shovel just hooks off. It comes with all these beautifully CNC'd parts, and the shovel is just lovely. It really is. It's even got his little logo just put in there, as you can see on that. But then, yeah, to put it back in, hook it onto there like that, pushes through on the bottom, through this, and then you just hook, drop the hook, that clicks in, and then that is on there. It's not going anywhere. I think that looks pretty swish. It was about the only place that I could put it on the back of here, to be honest. It was on the side. And I wasn't fully convinced at first, because I wanted it here, realistically, but it was too long. So, on the side it is. So it's now about 4 PM. So I'm now tackling the brake issue. Now, that side was completely bound up. I ended up having to beat out the slides from the caliper, essentially with a socket and hammer. I don't know if people are familiar with brakes. If you're not, I'll just give you a quick rundown. So this is your caliper here, which is obviously back to front. There are your brake discs. You've got brake disc in here, pads either side, and this is called your carrier. So it essentially carries the pads. So they basically slide in and out of the disc. I'll just pop that out. I'll deal with that in a second. Now what happened is the slides, which are these here, are meant to go in this hole here and this hole here. But I don't know if you can see when I've cleaned them out, but there is some corrosion in there and just built up rubbish. So these slides basically allow the caliper to move in and out like that. So it can take up basically any discrepancy in pad width or wearing or anything like that. It basically allows it so that as those pistons come out, it clamps and this can move on these slides. But obviously it wasn't doing that. So I need to get it rebuilt back up, and then hopefully our brake binding issue will be sorted. This side was not quite as stuck as the other side, but stuck. I started to hit them out with a hammer, and this was both of them. On the other side, it was just the bottom. So with the brakes hopefully sorted and them all going back together, we will now be able to stop the van without making fire. I was absolutely knackered and headed home to spend some quality time with Jess before I was leaving her to go off for the next 7 days. Good morning. So, the mission before I go today is to sort this out. So all needs tidying, all needs cleaning, there's just stuff everywhere. So, let's get on with that now. So I reckon we'll give it a bit of, and that's a bit better, all tidied up, mostly, obviously, still a bit of camera gear and stuff like that, but get the bedding in, get packed, and then get on the road. So, that is us now on the way. I'm hoping this camera angle's okay. I've never used it like this before, and I hope it's not too shaky, but we'll find out. Right, we need to go and get some fuel. I need to go and collect a parcel for Jess again, and then on our way up to Cheddar, I think. Time to go and get fuel, and then we can be on our way. I tell you what though, there's nothing like the anxiety you get when you freshly sort of had your brakes put and then you load the van up full and go off with it, hoping that they're okay. After yesterday you couldn't even drive 3 miles without them nearly setting on fire. So yeah, that's the sort of level I'm at. Right, I'll reset the trip MPG and you can see what Big Norm gets to Bristol, essentially, so it'll be about 200 miles.
Running low on the borderlines, and you tell me that you're doing fine. Morning color lights up, pulls you right on through the door. So hold on to all that feeds your soul. I know a place where the sun shines every day. Way more than you hate.
So we've just got off the M5, currently heading towards Cheddar Gorge itself. I don't know how far away we are, 22 minutes, we're about 10 miles, so not too far away, nearly there for today, and then tomorrow we've got about the same amount of driving again, but I'll run through what my plan is for tomorrow once we get there. I've made it to a very miserly and cold Cheddar Gorge. It's bigger than I remember it, but also the roads are tighter than I remember it. There's plenty of parking. Last time I was there, all these rocks and stuff weren't there, but now it's £6 to park, which I think gets you 12 hours, even if you just stop in for a pee, which, yeah, it's a little steep, but it's just sort of one tariff and that's kind of it. So my plan now for the evening is to go and find a park, I think. There's a place called the Strawberry Line, which is a cycle path that runs basically from the park up that I'm going to stay at. So hoping to go and do that. It's very sort of mizzly and cold. I know I'm a soft southerner. Sorry, I'm just watching someone disappear into the wall. Narnia. Yeah, so I think I'm going to go find the park up. I'm absolutely beat. It took me about 2 hours 45, nearly 3 hours to get here. And yeah, battled a headwind the whole way up. I've not eaten yet today, so I am starving. But it's currently 3:15, so it's sort of that weird time of day where you don't want to have a full meal, but yeah. So we'll get the park up in the sat-nav, and then we'll go and get parked up for the night, I think. Okay, so I've arrived at the park up. This is the Cheddar Reservoir South car park, I think. I've got Norm just tucked in the corner. So as far as I can see, there's no signs here that say no overnight parking. So yeah, I think we'll be alright. I'm going to get in the van because it's starting to get dark and chill out for the evening, I think. Let's get some dinner on. So, dinner's made. We've got some meatballs, pasta, cheese in our sauce. I sort of made a bit of a boo-boo. That park up over there that I showed you originally, turns out on Park for Night, if you take off your filters that you've got, it yeah, it's fully patrolled and gates get shut. So I'm now in the leisure centre next door. I'm going to put some Camp Out West on, eat some dinner and chill out for the evening. I'll catch you guys in the morning. Good morning. So, first night in the van on my own. Quite enjoyed the star fishing out on the bed. That was very nice. I had a local come who was put up to it by Calvin. I'll put their Instagram account on screen, which was quite nerve-wracking because I had my first knock last night and I was sat out editing, so I had laptop, iPad, all that kind of stuff. I don't know about anyone else, but I don't like having that stuff on show when you open the door, especially when you don't know who it is. So, a special shout out to Gilo, who came and said hello, nice to meet you, and yeah, hopefully you get on with that van soon. But no, this is the park up. So we're just tucked right in the corner, basically reversed into a tree, in a big gravel car park. I believe this is a community centre. So Cheddar Reservoir is literally over the other side of that hedge. It's quite hazy, but I'm going to try and put the drone up and I'll see if you can see anything. Today's plan though is we're heading further up north, so we're going to finish near Rexam, but first we need to get up to Birmingham because there's a company that I want to get in and say hello to because we've met them briefly at a show, but I think you realise who it is when we pull in. So let's get on the road and show you who we're going to go and see.
start to fray like a loose ground. You're not the king of California. 3 a.m. there's nothing for you. When you start to reveal nothing's really what you feel, I could've warned you. 'Cause I know, you know, I know you'll never let me go. You're such a smoke show, baby, when you burn low, weaving through my mind like a 70s comedian.
Now I imagine none of you have got any idea where we are yet, but let's go and have a look. I reckon some of you might recognise this. Let's go and say hello. Right, we've made it back. We may or may not have a few toys, but they will be for a later video. So a short stopover, but time to get back on the road again and get up to Rexam. Got to change because I was a bit chilly, so got a nice little jumper on. I just want to say thank you to Bex, who is the person that always shows us around at Fogstar, or we generally always speak to her on Instagram. And I imagine a lot of you guys, she'll be the person that you speak to. Some of the things they've got in the pipeline from what she said sounds really, really exciting. So it'll be interesting to see when they come out. I'm hoping, from what she said, that they'll be sort of early next year. So keep an eye on the Fogstar sort of team, I guess, pages, to see what they come up with. Because yeah, if what she's talking about comes to fruition, that's going to be pretty impressive. But just wanted to say thank you. Obviously, you saw I didn't come out empty-handed, so keep an eye on our and their social pages to see what may or may not be happening on there at some point. So the next stop tonight is getting up to Rexam. It's not a particularly exciting park up, it's purely going to be a Holiday Inn car park, and that's because it's practical, it's close to where I need to be for tomorrow morning, and I'm not going to film going up there because, to be honest, you guys have probably already seen enough driving footage. So with that in mind, that's where we're going to leave you this week. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.